All right, everyone, I'm calling this meeting to order at 4:59 p.m. Before we begin, I'd like to do a territorial acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the SFSS is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Katzie nations. Unceded means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we're currently situated on occupied territories. Next, we'll go on to roll call of attendance. I will call on you by your role, and please give us your name, pronouns, and access needs. I don't think I see archaeology here. So I think we're going to move on to Bachelor of Environment.
Hi guys, my name's Tiana, she, her pronouns. All my access needs are met, except I might have to leave a little bit earlier today, maybe in like 2-3 hours or so. Thank you.
Sounds good, Tiana, thank you. I think that's a common thing we're going to hear today. A lot of people have exams and you have to leave early, and that's understandable. I appreciate you being here today. We don't have behavioral neuroscience, I don't believe. Nope. Next, we have biology. Nick, are you here? I believe they are in the chat, so maybe we'll come back to biology. Unless they've already done their, let me just make sure they haven't done their intro in chat. I don't see it. Okay. BPK.
Hi, my name is Gurleen. My pronouns are she, her, and all my access needs met.
Thank you very much, Gurleen. Next, we have cognitive science. In the chat, they put, hi, my name is Aaron. Pronouns he, they, access needs, they'll be using the chat. Thank you, Aaron. Next, we have the Computing Science Student Society.
Hey everyone, my name is Sharik. My pronouns are he, him, his, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you, Sharik. Next, we have Krim.
Hi, my name's Ava, pronouns she, her, and my access needs are met, but I'd like to be done by 8:30 because I have assignments.
Thank you, Ava. Excuse me. Next, we have Earth Science. In the chat, hi all, my name is Eden. He, him, all access needs met, in and out, due to class/lab. Understood, Eden. Good luck with the lab. Next, we have economics here. Do not. Do we have education? Hi all, I'm Christine, she, her, and my access needs are met. Thank you, Christine. Engineering Student Society, also known as our incoming president.
Hi everyone, my name is Liam. Pronouns are he, him, his. My access needs are met for the moment, but I may have to leave a bit earlier due to a night lecture.
Thank you, Liam. Next, we have our Environmental Science Student Union. In the chat, hi everyone, I'm Grayson Bark. He, him, all my access needs are met. Thank you. Next, we have, do we have GSWS here? Not. Geography. In the chat, hello, my name is Natasha, she, they pronouns, and all my access needs are met. Thank you, Natasha. Next, we have health science. I know Priyanka just dropped in, so maybe I can come back to you after if you like. History.
Hi, my name's Emilio. Got some technical issues, maybe in or out. Have assignment, gotta leave early. Otherwise, I'm okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Emilio. Next, we have mechatronics. In the chat, hello, my name is Riley, pronouns he, him, his. Access needs are met, except they'll have to leave at 8:30. Thank you. I don't know military time. I thought 6:30 as well, Arthur. Thank you. All right. In the philosophy of sentient regrets, political science.
Hi everyone, I'm Brad Dennis, he, him pronouns, and I have no accessibility needs today. Thank you.
Thank you, Bryden. And to address the comment in the chat about simple math, I was subtracting from 10 rather than 12, just to address that. Next, we have, I don't think psychology is here. I think SUS potentially sending an alternate, or if we do have SUS here, SUS. Not seeing anything. Sasu.
Hi everyone, my name is Arthur, pronounced he, him, and all my academia met.
Thank you, Arthur. I'm going to go back to health science in the chat. Hello, everyone. My name is Priyanka, she, her. Was having some tech issues. Sorry for the late join, and all my access needs are met. Thank you, Priyanka. We are now at software systems is not here. SASA is not here. C's.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew Nathan. My pronouns are he and him, and this evening I have to leave before 7 because I have to support my brother on opening night of the school play.
Heck yeah, good luck to him. Hope he breaks a leg. In theater speak, of course, not literally. So going back, do we have biology?
Yes, I am here. Hello everyone, my name is Nick. My pronouns are he, him, his, and all my access needs have been met.
Thank you, Nick. All right, for CGs, I know Alexandra is not able to be here today, but I do believe we have FNMISA. Sienna? Unless I was mistaken. Oh, I might have been mistaken. Oh, no. Oh, okay, no worries. In the meantime, we can do Soka. Oh, sorry. Sienna has put it in the chat. Hi all, my name is Sienna Dixon. She, her pronouns, and I'll be using the chat as my internet is spotty. I have a hard stop at 8:30. Awesome, thank you, Sienna. And in the chat for Soka, hello, my name is Amina, pronouns she, her, and I'll be in and out of this meeting due to poor connections. Thank you, Amina. I believe that wraps up our CG. So we're on to affiliated student groups. We have RHA. Hi everyone, I'm Emmanuel, he, him, his. All my access needs are met. Thank you, Emmanuel. And then we have TSSU. In the chat, hi, I'm Paranjali, she, her, the TSSU counselor. All my access needs are met. Thank you. All right, and that moves us on to the executive committee. First is acting president. My name is Abby, he, him pronouns. In terms of access needs, I've just had a bit of anxiety over the past week. Show's been a bit stressful, so I may need to take a minute here or there. Next, we have our acting VP Internal and Organizational Development.
Hi, everybody. My name is Peter. He, him, his pronouns, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you, Peter. Next, we have the acting VP Finance and Services.
Hi, my name is Rasko. He, him pronouns. As for access needs, I may have to leave earlier than expected, around 6-ish, but I'm not sure yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Roscoe. Next, we have the acting VP University and Academic Affairs.
Hi, my name is Chloe, pronouns she, they, all my access needs are met.
Thanks. VP External Symptom Regrets. Next, we have the VP Equity and Sustainability.
Hi, my name is Songyan, she, her pronouns, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you. And VP Events is also Symptom Regrets. We're going to move on to society staff. I don't think we have our board organizer here. Is our facilities manager here?
Just an update from John. His father was rushed to the hospital with kidney failure, so he had to extend his trip. So I haven't heard much else, but there might be some delayed responses on his end.
Oh God. Okay. Sorry to hear that, John. If you see this, best wishes to you. Next, we have the temporary operations organizer.
Hi, all. Cindy here. Pronouns she, her. All my access needs are met.
Thank you. Next, we have, do we have our admin assistant here? I don't think so. But I'm just going to scroll up and check because we do have a guest. Where did you go? You were near the top. There you are. From the peak, we have Natalie. She, her pronouns, and all their access needs are met. Thank you, Natalie. We also do have one of our finance coordinators here. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name's Kurt Beliveau. I'm a finance coordinator. All my access needs are met.
Thank you so much, Kurt. All right, I believe that moves us on to the consent agenda. Motion currently reads, be it resolved to ratify the regrets of Ishana Baran, VP External and Community Affairs for the March 8th council meeting. I'm going to propose an amendment to this. I'm going to add on regrets for the VP Events and Student Affairs Vibe of Aurora, as well as the philosophy counselor Ashley Flett, and the DNA counselor Alexandra Partkia. I'm sorry, I botched that. Is anyone against ratifying those regrets? I'm not seeing anything, so that can be added onto the consent agenda. Next, we're moving on to the adoption of the agenda. Motion reads, be it resolved to adopt the agenda as presented. We're going to mover, please.
VP Finance.
VP Finance moves. Can we get a seconder?
VP
Political
Internal.
science.
Ooh, that was a tough one. I think internal just edged up political science there. So internal seconds. Roscoe, you've listed. Please go ahead.
Yes, so I have changed the proposed to the old business item. Let me know if I should do that now or if I should do it when the old business item is considered, but I will also attach a briefing note. It is under 10.1 file hosting privacy changes.
Okay, yeah, so this would be new business now. It'll go to the top of new business. So now is the time to do it. So yes, please do submit that into the chat, please.
So first off, I'm putting the briefing note. And next, I'm going to attach the actual motion and title. And so that this will replace that old business item essentially. Just give me one moment.
Yep, take your time.
So do you want me to read it out loud?
Feel free, yes, go ahead.
So the motion is titled Society IT Hosting Research. And the motion is, whereas at present the society relies heavily on non-domestic data storage mediums, whereas the storage of data outside of the country, especially pertaining to personal information of members and society staff, pose questions of liability and protection of such data. Be it resolved that council task excluded management of producing a report in collaboration with the president, vice president, internal and organizational development, and vice president, finance and services in the upcoming fiscal year, informing on where the society stores data. Be it further resolved that exclude management, conduct research on alternates to storing society data outside of Canada and report back to council progress by September 2023. Be it further resolved that council recommend to the council the 2023-2024 fiscal year to center privacy of member and employee information, one of the key priorities to consider when making decisions in regards to information technology processes at the society. I can't hear you.
Yes, sorry, I was muted. I was gonna say, awesome, thank you, Roscoe. Roscoe moves that. Can we get a seconder, please?
VPUA.
VPUA seconds. Is there any discussion on this amendment? I think, actually, let me list just to do this properly. Excuse me. Oh, of course, everything goes wrong today. There we go. I'm just going to list and say this sounds like Roscoe has changed this motion based on council's feedback from the previous meeting. So I don't personally see an issue with this. Roscoe, you're listed next.
Yeah, I just want to say, basically made it so that it's for us to conduct more research on this topic. It doesn't bind us fully to make a decision. It's just going to let next year's council and exclude management and next year's VPs just be tasked with researching this proposal. So we're not making any commitment right now in terms of monetary value or procedures or policy changes in regards to how we store data. So I hope it's I hope it's well received. Thank you. We'll discuss more during the motion itself.
Thank you, Roscoe. Is there any other discussion on this amendment? Seeing none, I'm going to take this to a vote. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. Okay, and I do ask for everyone's patience today, as again, I am going solo here, so I do need to try and find the lists. I believe Peter is next.
Yes, thank you. I've got 5 things to add. Actually, one of the motions for the first time not going to be there. I'm going to add them one by one if you'd like to read them. Sorry, it's just on my laptop, so it's going to take a bit to copy paste.
Yep, let me read these out loud. First motion reads, notice of motion correction to R5, 4.5, and 4.6 of council policies. Whereas R4.6 of council policies was amended on June 30th, 2021 to transition the SFSS to a monthly report submission for non-executive councillors rather than biweekly submission, whereas this amendment was incorrectly worded as R6, referred to the submission deadline for semester reports rather than submission deadline for work reports, whereas this requires connection to ensure we are operating on a clear set of policies under R4. Be it further resolved to strike section R4.5 of council policies and replace it with the following. 4.5, all work reports are due at 11:59 p.m. Non-executive councillors must submit monthly work reports to council on the 1st of every month. All executive officers must submit semi-monthly work reports to council on the 1st and 16th of every month. A, the stipend of an executive officer will be reduced to $100 where a work report is late or incomplete. B, the stipend of a non-executive council will be reduced to $50 where a work report is late or incomplete. C, stipend shall not be paid for months where the work report is submitted more than 1 month late, unless council sorry, it just moved up on me, give me a second. Unless council has authorized prior exception, be it further resolved to strike section 4.6 of council policies and replace it with the following. 4.6 semester reports must be submitted by executive officers to council by midnight of the last day of the month following the end of the semester. A, the stipend of an executive officer will be reduced by $100 per day for the maximum reduction of the value of 1 complete pay period where the report is late, and all stipends will be withheld until the report is submitted. Okay, next item from Peter, notice of motion changes to conflict rules in R4. Whereas concurrently serving as an executive of a group that operates within the SFSS, and as an SFSS executive could give rise to potential conflicts of interests, whereas bylaw 13 subsection 3 outlines a basic framework for preventing this, although there is no enforcement measure outlined within any council policies, whereas one method of ensuring that these rules is a stipend reduction under R4, be resolved to amend R4, adding a new heading, conflict in seats held, that contains a new R.17 that reads R.17, executive officers may not sit as an executive of a faculty student union, departmental student union, constituency group, or club at the same time as they are a member of the executive committee. Be it resolved to amend R417 by adding a new subsection A that reads, the stipend of an executive officer will be reduced by $100 where they fail to comply with this rule. Be it resolved to renumber the policy accordingly. Number 3, thank you, Peter. Notice of motion, appeals process for inappropriate advertising, whereas the appeals process for inappropriate advertising is unclear under CMP2, whereas the relevant staff are not defined in the appeal process, whereas the appeals of determinations seem to be escalating immediately to council according to CMP 2.2 subsection A. Be it resolved to strike CMP 2.2 subsection A and replace it with 2.2A. All appeals to any such determination shall be determined by the Member Services Advisory Committee. If the appeal is dismissed by the Member Services Advisory Committee after review of the case, a final appeal may be submitted to council. Be it further resolved to strike CMP 2.2 and replace it with 2.2. Relevant staff, as determined by the communications coordinator alongside the president, shall establish a panel of at minimum 3 relevant staff members and make the determination of what constitutes excessive or inappropriate advertising. The decision of the panel must be submitted in writing to the parties involved. Number 4, notice of motion, volunteer orientation policy updates. Whereas the current volunteer orientation policies are filled with renumbering and grammar mistakes, whereas the policy is out of date with current practice, be it resolved to strike OTP 3.2 subsection D and replace it with review job descriptions for volunteers. Be it further resolved to add new section 3.3 subsection C, review sub-emergency procedures when applicable. Last but not least, we have formation of a new student healthcare committee. Whereas the last 3 student care referendum increases have failed due to a lack of student engagement, whereas students do not have enough input into their healthcare services, leading to a disillusionment and confusion regarding student healthcare. Whereas a committee should be established to ensure input, increased engagement, and research healthcare matters throughout the fiscal year. Be it resolved to adopt the new SO6 Student Healthcare Committee as attached under Section 3, Standing Committees, Advocacy and Equity of Council Policies. Be it resolved to renumber current SO5 Governance Committee and SO4. Renumber SO4 Governance Committee to SO. Holy cow. Try that one more time. Be it further resolved to renumber the current SO4 Governance Committee to SO5 Governance Committee to SO4 Governance Committee and renumber accordingly. My apologies. I botched that line 3 times. My apologies. I will not repeat that. Peter moves. Can we get a seconder, please?
Political science.
Political science seconds. Is there any discussion on this? And Peter has mentioned that they will go into more detail about this as well when it's mentioned later in new business. So thank you for mentioning that, Peter. I'm okay for now, Arthur. I'll let you know if it gets chaotic. I might ask a call on you, but for roll call votes and stuff, I'm fine for that. It's just if I get lost in the list, some help would be nice. But for now, I'm not seeing any dissent, so I'm going to ask, we're going to seek unanimous consent on this. Seeking unanimous consent, if you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. All right, Sharik, you're next on the list. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I sent out an email to council yesterday that I'd like to amend the agenda with, so I have a motion here. I'm going to put it in the chat and then I can read it out to help you out a little, Abby.
Thank you.
Whereas at the February 8th council meeting, 10K was approved for fast formal, whereas the event has seen more interest than originally expected, whereas the current wait list for the event is already halfway full with many people looking to purchase tickets for the event, whereas council can approve additional funding for events, be it resolved the council approve the additional spending of up to $5,000 for fast formal from line item 5000G.
Thank you, Sharik. Sharik moves that. Is there a seconder?
History.
History seconds. Engineering, you have the list. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. I'm just saying I've been in direct communication with the people who've been organizing this event behind the scenes. I've been asked to speak a few words on their behalf, and I happily obliged. So here goes.
Oh, sorry, Liam. Just to clarify, this is just to put it onto the agenda. This is not the item itself.
Oh, this isn't the item itself. This is to put
This is just to put it onto the agenda. Yeah. So I would say that spiel. Yeah.
I misunderstood. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. Sharik, go ahead.
Sorry, one more request for this, Abby. I accidentally have double booked today, so I have 2 meetings at 7. Could we have this be the first item in new business, just so I'm not having to do 2 discussions at the same time in 2 different meetings? Given
that you're doing this during the adoption of the agenda, you are free to move this to the top of new business. So in addition to adopting this item, Sharik is asking that it get moved to the top of new business. I'm going to seek, is there any other discussion on this? Seeking unanimous consent, if you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. Next on the list might have been Chloe, but please, before you begin, Chloe, let me double check. Yes, it was you. Go ahead.
Hi, I have 2 discussion items to amend to the agenda. First one is a in-camera discussion item to section 8.1 titled Excluded Management Contract Signing. And I just wanted to remind you that I believe somebody has a family appointment to attend, and if this could be moved up the agenda, that would be appreciated. I think she sent you an email. Did you get it?
Sorry, are you still? No, you're on your motion, right? So,
Yeah, okay.
What's your motion?
It's to add an in-camera discussion item to section 8.1 titled Excluded Management Contract Signing.
Okay, are you able to
post that in the chat?
Thanks.
Sorry, give me a second. This is like my first time doing this. There we go. And my second motion is a X-camera discussion item to section 13.1 titled SFSS Council Apology to SFU 350 and Transition Plan for Divestment. And I can post that one as well. There we go.
Alrighty. Chloe has moved that set of amendments. Is there a seconder? Arthur seconds. Is there any discussion on this? I'm going to start by saying, just based on the second discussion, I will be abstaining on this, and depending on discussion, I may vote against. Amelia, go ahead.
Yeah, is there any information on the second item, any briefing note or anything attached to it? Because I didn't see it in the email. Just some information, because this was dropped 24 hours or less than 24 hours before, and we haven't been told anything. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Amelia. Thank you, Chloe. Is there any further discussion on this? I am not seeing anything, so I'm going to take this to a vote. I'm going to seek unanimous consent of this. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, and I'll call on you for your vote. Looks like it's just me, so I'm going to be voting abstaining. Otherwise, this amendment passes unanimously. All right. Next, we are on. Oh, sorry. Sneha is also abstaining. Please have that noted for the records. Apologies, Sneha. Roscoe, you've raised your hand, sorry.
Yes, I'm also abstaining.
Roscoe is also abstaining. Okay, I'm going to ask again, is there anyone else who would like to dissent? If we have, okay, all right. We're going to have to restart here. We've had a couple too many abstains. I think we're going to have to do a roll call vote here, so give me a moment, please. All right. Archaeology, would you like to remain abstaining? Yes. All right. Next on the list, we have Bachelor of Environment.
In favor.
Next, we have Biology.
In favor.
Biology's in favor. Next, we have PPK.
Abstain.
PPK abstains. Next, we have Cognitive Science. Cognitive Science abstains. Next, we have Computing Science.
Abstain.
Computing Science abstains. Next, we have CRIM.
I just want to clarify, this is a vote to get it on the agenda, correct?
Yes.
In favor.
In favor. Next, we have Earth Science. Earth Science abstains. Economics is not here. Education abstains. Engineering Science.
I abstain.
Engineering Science abstains. Environmental Science.
In favor.
Environmental Science votes in favor. Geography. Geography votes in favor. Health Science.
In favor.
Health Science in favor, and Archaeology would like to change their vote in favor. All good. Next, we have History.
I abstain.
History abstains. Next, we have Mechatronics.
Abstain.
Mechatronics abstains. Next, we have Political Science.
Abstain.
Political Science abstains. Psychology.
Abstain.
Oh, shit.
Psychology abstains. Sus or sus alternate. We've been there before. I've been there before, Hillary. If you dig around the no CEO files, you'll find me with quite the embarrassment. Next, we have SAS. Abstain. Wisely keeping the mic muted. Sasu.
In favor.
Sasu votes in favor. And then we have C's.
Abstain.
C's abstains. F and MISA. Favor. Soka. Soka, are you there? If not, we're going to consider this a passive abstention. Moving on to RHA. RHA votes in favor. And then TSSU. Favor. I'll go back to Soka just in case. Not seeing it. All right, moving on to executive committee, I'm going to abstain. VP internal. Favor. VP finance. Abstain. VP university.
In favor.
VP equity. Abstain. All right, so with 13 in favor and 15 abstentions, this motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for that. And I think it's good that we did do a roll call vote there because it looked like we had 5 abstentions and in reality we had 15 abstentions, which I think is a very, it paints a lot more of a clear picture to students who may be viewing this in the hindsight on YouTube as to council's feelings towards this motion, as opposed to just seeing a couple of abstentions. All right, next on the list is myself. And I really hope I haven't gotten rid of my copy pasted motion. I have not. And so motion reads as follows. It's a new business item titled ratification of election results. And the motion reads as follows. Whereas the Chief Commissioner is responsible for submission of an elections and referenda report to the outgoing council and policy research and affairs coordinator or designate for any election or referendum. Whereas per SFSS bylaws and referendum policies, section PEP 111, after duly receiving and approving the elections and referenda reports, the Society shall ensure that the latest received elections referenda reports are appropriately shared with the members of the SFSS, including but not limited to being placed on the Society website. Be it resolved to receive the results of the 2023 SFSS Spring 2023 elections. Be it further resolved to file the IEC Spring 2023 election report. And there is also an attachment that comes with this. 1 second, and I will put it in the chat. Yes, this is the right one. Okay. Un momento. There we are. To be clear, this is a fairly standard motion. I probably could have even thrown it in what's it called? Excuse me. Consent agenda, but just for the sake that we've already passed it, I'll throw it under new business. I'll move that committee to seconder, please.
VP finance.
VP finance seconds. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, we'll take this to the vote. I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. Alrighty. Next, I believe there was someone after me on the list.
Abby has good updates. No one after your list.
There's no one after me? Okay.
Yeah, I checked.
Yeah. All right. In that case, the new motion reads, be it resolved to adopt the agenda as amended. I'll make one last change here. I am going to move in camera before reports. I will move. Can I get a seconder, please?
Political science.
Political science seconds. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we're going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on. Oh, sorry, Sheree, go ahead.
Can we just move reports to the end?
Okay. Sorry, just whoever seconded me there, are you okay with us withdrawing that motion for the moment then?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. The list again. So I'm going to move reports after discussion items. I will move. Need a seconder, please.
History.
History seconds. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, we're going to take this to vote. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. All right. We are now on to in camera. Okay, actually, this is where I could use a little bit of help. If anyone is able to get down the motions that have been amended, I'm in a bit of an awkward spot where usually I have my two monitors in the office, but I'm doing this meeting off my laptop, so I only have the one, making it a little bit difficult to copy down all the amended motions. But I do know we have Sharik's first, and then after that, it is in order of those that were amended on. So if someone can keep track of that, that would be much appreciated. Awesome, Arthur. But right now, what we have is the, yes, sweet. I'll give you a second to do that. After that, what we do have is the in-camera item. And the motion will read, be it resolved to go in camera for the remainder of the meeting. Oh, sorry. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. Yes, that seems right to me, Peter. I will move to go in camera. Do we have a seconder?
History.
History seconds. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, this passes. So I'm going to pause the recording. All right, Evan, we have returned from in camera. The motion reads, be it resolved to go X camera for the remainder of the meeting. I'll move. Can we get a seconder, please?
A second.
Sasu seconds. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, we're going to seek unanimous consent. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. All right. Thank you, everyone. We are now going to be moving on to new business. The first item of which, Arthur, do you have? It is Sharik's motion.
Sharik motion, yes, I have it, but Sharik, do you mind to recopy it again because I lost it?
I can recopy it for you. Just give me a sec then.
Thank you, Sharik.
I have everybody else, so everyone else you'll be okay.
Okay, thanks. So we'll just wait for Sharik to post that, and then I will read it out loud. Motion reads as follows. Thank you. Whereas, and please don't put anything in chat. I'm just trying to read this from the chat. Whereas the February 8th council meeting, 10K was approved for fast formal. Whereas the event has seen more interest than originally expected. Whereas the current wait list for the event is already halfway full, with many people looking to purchase tickets for the event. Whereas council can approve additional funding for events, be it resolved that council approve an additional spending of $5,000 for fast formal from line item 5000G. Sharik, you'd like to move that, yes?
Yes, please.
And can we get a seconder?
History.
History seconds. I'm just going to list really quickly here. Andrew did mention this to me. He wanted to voice his support for this motion before he left. That's all. Is there anyone else who wants to list?
Oh, sorry. He gave me something to read out on his behalf too.
Okay. Okay. I also have a piece I can read out loud from Liam, and we can do that. But to be very frank, we're running pretty late. Is there anyone who's against this at the moment? You can put it in chat. Anyone who have any questions? I'm not seeing anything. So Sharik, you can have your list, but honestly, it looks like it's going to pass. So you can do it if you want. But yeah.
I'm just going to say this for transparency's sake. What happened was we got the approval for the 10K on February the 8th. We started selling tickets basically towards like the end of reading break. And within literally a week, we were like less than a week, we sold out 140 tickets basically. Like they were all just gone. And now we have a wait list of like 50 people right now that like currently want more tickets. And so that's why we're going back and hopefully getting more funding today, just so we can accommodate these people. This event hasn't been held in a long time. And yeah, I hope it passes.
I'm glad our applied science students are so engaged. That's excellent to hear. And I hope this is a theme going forward and you can carry this momentum into the next fiscal year. I'm not seeing any other lists, so I'm going to seek unanimous consent to this. Seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, this passes. Okay. Next item on the docket, Arthur.
I believe the next one on the docket is Rasco's amendment, I
Perfect.
believe. So
And do you have that?
I have it.
Perfect.
Here you go.
Thank you. All right, so the motion reads as follows. It's titled Society IT Hosting. Whereas the present society relies heavily on non-domestic data storage mediums, whereas the storage data outside of the country, especially pertaining to personal information of members and society staff, poses questions of liability and protection of such data. Be it resolved that council task excluded management of producing a report in collaboration with the president, vice president, internal and vice president, internal and organizational development, and vice president, finance and services in the upcoming fiscal year, informing on where the society stores data. Be it further resolved that excluded management conduct research on alternatives for storing society data outside of Canada and report back to the Council of Progress by September 2023. Be it further resolved that Council recommends the Council of 2023-2024 fiscal year to center privacy of member and employee information. One of the key priorities to consider when making decisions in regard to IT processes at the Society. Roscoe, you'd like to move that, yes?
Yes.
I will second. Is there any discussion on this? And again, I'll be very strict in limiting us to 2 lists each and a maximum of 2 minutes. Roscoe, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll just say very quickly, I've improved this from when it was last council meeting. I brought this up, and I guess people just had concerns in regards to making a decision too quickly. So what I've decided to do is we're just going to task staff and the execs as well and next council just to look into this further, because I think we should definitely be storing data inside of the country instead of outside the country, because outside the country it is subject to the laws of other countries and it poses a liability in regards to data storage. Canada has a pretty robust privacy legislation, and we would be reducing our liabilities in regards to if we store things inside of Canada. Thank you.
Thank you, Roscoe. Emilio's spoken in favor in the chat with a couple of comments. I'm not seeing anyone who's going to dissent to this, so I'm seeking anyone's consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. All right, thank you, Roscoe. I think this is a good direction for us to kind of leave council with, and I think ultimately if the next council decides, they can choose to go a different direction, which I think was the concern of the previous motion, was that it locked people in. So I think, Roscoe, you did do a good job in consulting here and making sure it is open-ended. All right, so next item on the docket, Arthur, help us out.
I believe the next one is Peter's motion to create a student healthcare committee. I will copy that right now.
The first ones are going, the other ones where it's just going to be governance notions, but if you want to do the committee one first, I'm fine with that. Do
you have a preference to go to?
We did amend them on as in order, so I think we have to go with the governance motions in order. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then student care. But yes, I want to get this done fast so we can make sure we keep quorum.
Not a problem. I have them right now. I can put them in.
Perfect. Shariki, you have a list. Is there something you want to mention?
Yeah, those are notices of motion, so those don't have to be voted on or anything. You just have to put them on at the agenda at the end of the meeting. You don't actually need to go through any of them, because you don't, like, you put them on the website and you bring them to council, then you give 2 weeks, then you vote on them after that. That's what notice of motion, that's the notice period. It's 2 weeks.
Apologies, I must have misread it. I read them as I thought this was meant to be. Sorry, Roscoe. Oh, sorry. We're all getting crossed up here. So 1 second, Peter. Roscoe, I think you have something to say, then we'll have Peter go. What was it?
If I may speak, yes, this is a notice of motion. Essentially, you have to put it at the bottom of the agenda. You don't have to vote on it. It's just a notice. And then at the next council meeting, 2 weeks from now, then that can get voted on. What has to happen is, like, we can't vote on these right now. We have to give 2 weeks notice to membership, put it on the website and social media. And then right after, 2 weeks have passed at the next council meeting, then those get decided on.
Okay, thank you, Roscoe. Peter, I'm assuming you didn't mean to amend those on as notices of motion, but I think that's what happened, yeah?
Yeah, my apologies. Sorry, I was just when I pasted them the entire title, I meant to do the motion part, but I put the notice of part in front of it when I was getting the document. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay. So in terms of procedure here, I'm going to ask council. I'm not sure how we want to go about this. Roscoe, you have a direct response. Anyone else? And Sharik. So Roscoe, go ahead, and then Sharik.
Question was the adequate notice period decide on, because I do know one of these motions, they went just through a special governance meeting that happened this week, I believe. That's what was said. So I don't know if you gave appropriate notice before being able to vote on this, because you need that 2-week policy framework. But if this happened, then stand corrected.
Okay. Sharik, you also have a direct response, or are you just going to repeat what Roscoe said?
Yeah, I don't remember these being on the agenda for last meeting, so I don't think notice was actually given, or they were on the website.
Okay. In that case, Peter, are you okay with keeping these as notice of motions then at the bottom of the meeting, and then we'll approve them at the next council meeting? Is that permittable with you? Go ahead, Peter.
I'm sorry. Yeah. For the documents, sorry, my apologies. The first two have the notice of motion that I've submitted. Those were in summer, and they were just never, I'm guessing, not followed up upon, because they were, and they have all that information on our website. The other two you can keep as notice of motions, and then yeah, we can have it on the end, and it can be in the next meeting. That's fine. The student care one was something that was going to be approved earlier, but we had to move governance later, and that's why it was coming a little bit late. But I would like to just bring that up as well, the policy or the student care.
Okay. So you want to keep so if I'm understanding this right, Peter, you can feel free to just speak out of order here. It's fine. The governance 1 and 2 should be kept. And then you also want to keep student care as motion, so we'll have to suspend the rules and do that. Is that what you want?
Yeah, just remove the second, the third, and fourth the governance motions. The first two already had them noticed, and just they're just regular motions.
Okay, so we won't have to change anything about those two because they're all notices of motions. But let me do this really quick. Let me just list. So I'm going to move to suspend the rules and take the two motions, governance motion 1 and governance motion 2, and the student care committee motions as and take them from notice of motions to new business items to be considered now. I will move that. Can we get a seconder, please?
History.
I think I got philosophy on that one. Suspending the rules takes a 2/3 majority. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, I'm going to take this to vote. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function in Zoom, and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. Okay, so we can proceed as planned with the first two. No, so it's 1 and 2. Governance motion 1 and 2 are the ones we're considering, plus the student care motion. So Arthur, if you wouldn't mind posting, or Peter, whoever can post motion 1, please.
There it is. It also has the website link just as well, if anybody wants, just to confirm as well.
Yep, thank you. All right, motion reads as follows. Correction to R4.5 and R4.6 of council policies. This was read aloud before, but I will read it aloud again. Peter has also included the link to the that this was considered. Whereas R4.6 of council policies was amended on June 30th, 2021 to transition the SFSS to a monthly work submission for non-executive councils rather than a bi-weekly submission, whereas this amendment was incorrectly worded as R4.6 referred to the submission deadline for semester reports rather than submission deadline for work reports, whereas this requires correction to ensure that we are operating on a clear set of policies under R4. Be it resolved to strike section 4.5 of council policies and replace it with the following. 4.5, all work reports are due at 11:59 p.m. Non-executive councilors must submit monthly work reports to council on the 1st of every month. All executive officers must submit semi-monthly work reports to council on the 1st and 16th of every month. A, the stipend of the executive officer will be cut by $100 where work report is late or incomplete. B, the stipend of a non-executive council will be reduced by $50 where work reports are late or incomplete. C, stipend shall not be paid for months where the work report is submitted more than 1 month late, unless council has authorized a prior exception. Be it further resolved to strike section 4.6 of council policies and replace it with the following. 4.6 semester reports must be submitted by executive officers to council by midnight the last day of the following month. Of the month following the end of the semester. A, the stipend of an executive officer will be reduced by $100 per day of a maximum reduction of the value of 1 complete pay period where the report is late, and all stipends shall be withheld until the report is submitted. All right. Peter moves that. Is that Peter will move that, right, Peter?
Yeah, I'll move it, of course.
And can we get a seconder?
DPUA.
DPUA seconds. Peter, you've listed. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll just be really quick about this one. This one was obviously, this was passed in the summer. This was just an there was an incorrect part where obviously it says that it was dealing with R4.6, but this is what we have been doing. It was just an error. It was in the wrong section. It should have been R4.5. This is just correcting it. This is how we are currently operating. And yeah, just a quick correction. I just couldn't do it as a work order because it's obviously not grammatical. We're actually altering a different part. So
thank you, Peter. Yeah, this is the proper way to do it. This is so like standard. I'm just going to seek unanimous consent on this. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom. I'm going to call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. All right, next motion, please. Thank you. And again, there's a link there again. Peter, what was the title for this one?
let me quickly, sorry. This one should be changed to conflict rules in R4. I'll quickly post it in chat.
Thank you very much. Yep, as Peter has posted in chat, change to conflict rules in R4, and the link is there in case anyone needs to check. Whereas concurrently serving as an executive of a group that operates within the SFSS as an SFSS executive could give rise to potential conflicts of interest, whereas bylaw 13.3 outlines basic framework for preventing this, although there is no enforcement measure outlined within any of the council policies, whereas one method of ensuring these rules is a stipend reduction under R4. Be it resolved to amend R4 by adding a new heading, conflict in seats held, that contains a new R4.17 that reads 417. Excuse me. Executive officers may not sit as an executive of a faculty, student union, departmental, student union, constituency group, or club executive at the same time as they are a member of the executive committee. Be it resolved to amend 417 by adding a new subsection A that reads, the stipend of an executive officer will be reduced by $100 when they fail to comply with this rule. Be it further resolved to renumber the policy accordingly. Peter moves. Can we get a second? Oh, sorry, Peter Yarkle is moving. Yeah.
Yes, I'm moving. Sorry.
And can we get a seconder?
Philosophy.
Philosophy seconds. Peter, you have a list.
Yes, this is just this was passed back in the summertime as well. This is just to obviously add a monetary punishment, right? Because obviously, while it is mentioned in the bylaws, there's some issues to be taken. I think it's important that we also, I think governance passed, and the reasoning was that we should have a monetary punishment to also prohibit this behavior as well.
Thank you, Peter. I'm also going to offer a friendly amendment here. I added a word in there, and I think that word helps a little bit. It says, oh, never mind. No, never mind. I'm going to retract that. I just misread it. It works grammatically. Never mind. So I'll retract that list. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we're going to take this to vote. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. All right. The student care motion, please.
3, 2, 1. There you go.
Thank you. And motion reads creation of a student creation of a student healthcare committee. Whereas the last 3 student care referendums increases have failed due to a lack of formation of a student healthcare committee. My apologies. Whereas the last 3 student care referendums increases have failed due to a lack of student engagement, whereas students do not have enough input into their healthcare services, leading to disillusionment and confusion regarding the student healthcare. Whereas a committee should be created to ensure input, increased engagement, and research healthcare matters throughout the fiscal year. Be it resolved to adopt the new SO6 Student Healthcare Committee as attached under Section 3 Standing Committees, Advocacy, and Equity of Council Policies. Be it further resolved to renumber SO5 Governance Committee to SO4 Governance Committee and renumber accordingly. Peter, would you like to move that?
Yes.
I'll second. Peter, you have the list. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I think with the last few referendums, there's been the big issue with the student care. Obviously, I think we've had issues with how our students engage with this, and especially it has not reached quorum. And I think also there's been like a lot of information regarding student care, and obviously we want the students to be engaged with this kind of information and being there. So obviously, I think the most important part is establishing a committee. If you read through the thing, it's at least meeting once a month, and especially the important part is having the certain seats, especially of the groups that are usually discriminated within healthcare, just especially that because referendums kind of fail and we might have to cut services. I think it's really important that we have the representation. So like even inadvertently, we don't cut services that may be discriminatory to certain groups who don't have good healthcare coverage because of their backgrounds and stuff. So I think it's just really important to have that. And then, yeah, really important to have just research and outreach, because I know that during coming up the recent or like the last referendum, it was a bunch of the president, VP Finance and I going around. But I think the benefit is also getting all these, a committee and having all these counselors also and at-large students also coming out and helping throughout the year too, making sure that we get a lot of this feedback year round, and it just makes sure that My apologies. Sorry, they just bring this information to council, bring suggestions to council, and just make sure it's a better process.
Thank you, Peter. I'm listing, and I'm just going to say I'm very much in favor of this. Thank you for taking this on, Peter. And I think all the people on here are the right people. You have some at-larges. You have the president, finance, and internal, who are the most relevant to student care in particular. We also have room to invite student care on. This seems to make sense to me. Sharik, you're next on the list. Go ahead.
Same question as before. Was notice of motion given for this one? Just want to make sure we did this because I don't remember it being on any of the last agendas.
I am not sure.
Like, we can do it today, but then we have to suspend the policy manual and so on.
Okay. You know what? Just to be safe, I will list after this, and that's my intent. Just so everyone's clear, that will be my intent, to suspend the policy manual. I believe it's 1.2, right, Sharik?
I think it's 1.2 subsection B, but I would check that.
Okay. All right. Why don't we let Rasco have his list, and I will try to check in the meantime. Or if anyone else has knowledge, if they can help check, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. So I'm in full support of this, but yeah, I was gonna note no notice of motion. So, and because I'm in full support on this, I recommend we do suspend the policy manual just for this one motion. Yeah, I'm just looking at which subsection it is right now, so I'll give that, I guess, to Abby next.
Yeah, I'm just stalling, very frankly, trying to find this. Give me a moment. I'm not very fast, so I'm sure someone else can find this faster than me. 1.2D, thank you, Peter. All right. In that case, I'm going to move to suspend policy manual 1.2D for the consideration of this motion. I'll move. Can we get a seconder, please?
VP Finance.
VP Finance seconds. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, I'm going to seek unanimous consent to this. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. We're now back to the motion that Peter has proposed. I believe we already had a mover and seconder on that, so we're still good to go with that. Is there any discussion on that motion itself? I'm not seeing any. So I'm going to seek unanimous consent on that. Seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, and I'll call on you for your vote. Seeing none, that passes. All right, thank you, everybody. That was a big motion to make sure we got done now, so that that's in place for the next executive. So thank you to everyone who spoke in favor, and thank you for Peter for taking the lead on this. Thank you. All right. Do we have any other new business items left? That's it for new business. All right. I believe we amended on one discussion item. Oh, my item. Yeah, right. My item. Whoops. You would think I'd remember my own item. I unfortunately don't even have my own item, so it will take me a moment to get that back. So apologies, everyone. Peters. It's ratification of election results. Apologies. I'm just scrolling through trying to find this. Oh. Wait, oh no. Oh, it's not there. Oh, crap. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to rewrite it really quick. Yeah, apologies for this, everyone. You know what? Here's what I'm going to offer. We've had quite the intense session. If everyone wants to take a 5-minute break and we come back at 7:12, is everyone okay with that? We only have this one new business item, and then after that we won't need a quorum. So as long as we have enough people to stay for that, we'll be okay. Everyone good? Yes, okay, sounds good. All right, I'll pause the recording. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming back after the break. We've had some issues with Zoom, so for the next item, I'm going to screen share my Microsoft Word application. There it is. So the motion, if I can recall, the item is titled Ratification of Election Results, and the motion reads as follows. Whereas the Chief Commissioner is responsible for the submission of an elections and referenda report to the outgoing council and the Policy Research Community Affairs Coordinator or designate following any election or referendum, whereas the per SFSS elections and referenda policy, section PEP -111, after duly receiving and approving elections and referenda report, society shall ensure that the 3 latest election and referenda reports are appropriately shared with the members of the SFSS, including but not limited to being placed on the society website. Be it resolved to receive the results of the SFSS Spring 2023 elections. Be it further resolved to ratify the results of the SFSS Spring 2023 elections. Oh, nope, sorry, that's wrong. My apologies. I mistyped that. E. Apologies, I copied the wrong version of the motion. Let me screen share again and show the changes.
Abby.
It should read, be it resolved to ratify the results of the IEC elections, SFSS elections report spring 2023. I know it's botched there, so I'll ask for a friendly amendment after to fix this, but just for now, I'll move. Can I get a seconder, please?
VP Finance.
S3.
VP Finance seconds. I'm gonna stop sharing. I know a lot of people were not able to see it in the chat, so hopefully that helped. And I will ask for a friendly amendment to fix that up for admin assistance. Is someone okay to move that friendly amendment?
Finance.
History.
Finance moves. We'll have history as a second. Is everyone okay for the admin assistant to just clean up that wording post-mortem? Seeing no dissent, we'll take it as a friendly amendment. Okay, this is, oh, I should list, oops. Just to give context, this is just to ratify the election results. Technically, even if we didn't ratify them, nothing would really change. This is just good practice and following our own policies, a step above some of the previous executive teams. All right, so is there any discussion about that? Seeing none, we're going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom and I'll call on you for a vote. Seeing none, that passes. All right, we are done with new business. I believe we have one discussion item that was amended on. I think that's it. Is that right, Arthur?
Yes, I believe that's Chloe's item. I will copy and paste it now.
Awesome, thank you. The item is titled SFSS Council, SFSS Council, apology to SFP 350. As the submitter of the item, Chloe, you have speaking priority. I will remind everyone, as per all motions, you have 2 minutes of speaking time and 2 lists. I'll do my best to keep track. Chloe, please go ahead. Do you want me to read this out loud, Chloe? Okay, Chloe has typed in the chat. I wanted to bring these 2 documents before council, which I will link to acknowledge that the executives have received and both read SFP 350's letter as well as their demands. I also wanted to share with council the membership that in the case they may have missed SFP 350 email or are otherwise interested in reading. Additionally, I wanted to remind both council and membership that HR matters cannot be discussed ex camera, and any indication of such will immediately shut down by the chair as policy. Can confirm. The VP External, VP Internal, and I are currently drafting a letter of apology on behalf of our own offices to the members of SFP 350 that were affected by this incident. We are in full support of students' right to protest, and we'll be discussing this letter further out at our executive meeting this Friday. I also wanted to dedicate an office space for councillors and members to express their concern and ideas regarding fossil fuel divestment, specifically in their relationship with Scotiabank. All right, those are Chloe's comments. Is there anyone who wanted to add to this at all? Roscoe, go ahead.
Hi, so I think this I don't know what to make of this situation, to be honest, but I will say that I'm in full support of what 350 wanted to reevaluate our banking provider to make sure they align with our values. And I will say that when I took office in November, one of the first things I started was just looking into how much the current bank with Scotiabank charges versus a credit union, and there's a lot of how do I say it? There's a lot of legal stuff and ramifications and things like that. So it's not a quick and easy switch. But I personally, and I'm saying from a personal perspective, I'm in favor of switching us to Van City. Now, whenever or not it's fully possible, that's something that has to be researched, because we do have a mortgage with them as well for the student union building. And another thing, we would be saving a lot of fees going with Van City. Also, we currently actually use Van City for our investment. So our operating account, mortgage, and credit card are with Scotiabank, but our our investment is actually for fossil-free GIC. Similarly to what was mentioned in the letter that the university did, we actually did before them. So I'm not exactly sure why this became a protest, so to speak, or what exactly happened here. Like it just blew up, but but I will comment on the side of the banks and making sure they're aligned with our values. I fully support that, and yeah, so I just wish someone reached out to me before this protest happened. Thank you.
Thank you, Roscoe. Next on the list, we have Emilio.
Hi, I read through the letter. I just wanted to go and comment on the actual protest and things. I know at SFU, when you want to have a protest, you have to have a permit. I don't know if they had one or not. That wasn't really explained because it already said that they didn't book a room in the sub. Do we have any information on this incident besides this that maybe Abby or somebody else in the know could fill us in on? Because it seems like we're only getting one side of the story here. And I'm hesitant to give a apology on behalf of the SFSS, where if it's true that they didn't book a room, if it's true they were being disruptive, if it's true they didn't have a permit, and then they're claiming that our issues policies, which are realistically guides that we should follow, they're not hard concrete in stone for things, is it something that we should really be issuing? That being said, I think that it is a legitimate concern and we should switch banks. I just wish that, and I don't know if Roscoe could comment on this. Did they, like you said, nobody reached out to you? Did they email you at all? Did they come talk to you verbally? Have you heard anything about this at all? Or did they just go automatically to protest mode? Thank you.
Thank you, Emilio. So we have two direct responses. I want to remind our direct responders that if you are directly responding, it should be a clarifying comment or a clarifying question. If you do not use your direct response as a clarifying comment or clarifying question, I will take it as one of your two lists. So please be careful with that. Chloe, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that the apology is not on behalf of the council. It is only on behalf of the VP External, VP Internal, and the VP University and Academic Affairs offices. In regards to our participation in the matter, I believe that most of the execs just went down to talk to the students about why they were there. It wasn't really like a collaborative event. The apology is mostly going to be focusing on details that I'm not sure if I can really talk about, but we will be discussing more in the next executive meeting. And then once that is, once we've talked about that more, I will be bringing it before council so that you guys can look over that. And then you can decide if that's something that you want to support as well. And then any questions that you want to ask that I can answer, I will try my best to do so.
Thank you, Chloe. Roscoe, you also have a direct response?
Yeah, so direct response to Emilio. So this group, actually, they never contacted me. nor other exec about this concern. I only found out when the VP external shared a link, the calendar invite, and I guess VP external does VP external, so they just knew that this would be happening, right? So this kind of just blew up randomly. Kind of what's funny is that I was actually talking to Van City the day before about something else related to our investments. I actually had a quick call with them, and I don't know, it just came out there nowhere. So I don't know exactly what, yeah, from my own end at least, no one reached out to me personally. When this protest happened in the sub, I came down there and I asked to speak with whoever's the organizer, and someone I just told them, yeah, we could talk more about this. I just don't understand why it had to be a protest.
Thank you. Cindy, you have a direct response. Or sorry. I think Amelia, you have a direct response, but I am gonna I don't want us going ping-ponging with direct responses. So I think Amelia, go ahead, but this will be your last direct response for this thread, and then Sindhu.
Okay, I'll make it quick. I'm hoping that Chloe, if we are to make an apology, I don't care whether it's a single member of our council, I don't care whether it's a whole SFSS, there better be something showing some wrongdoing on the SFSS's part or on the executive's part that you are asking for, because from what it sounds like now, I'm concerned about a possible lack of permit. I'm concerned about them not following the rules coming into the sub. I'm concerned about how they organize this and all of these things. So overall, there better be something here, because from a society standpoint, we should only apologize if we've done something wrong. So far, I haven't seen that, and I'm against us apologizing at all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emilio. I really want to stop this ping-ponging, but there was somewhat of a question, so Chloe, keep it to very short, but if you want to just directly address the question that Emilio implied to there, you can go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to confirm that we are taking that into consideration, and we will be explaining that further in our apology, as it will be discussing our issues, we will be discussing it further in our letter as it pertains to our issues policies. I just don't know how much I can say right now. I want to talk to execs first, as well as staff, to sort of get a better clue of how much I can do. I just really want to make sure that the students' concerns are being heard, not just as it pertains to the fossil fuel divestment, but especially the right to protest in the sub, as I mentioned to Saniha above, if that makes sense. But I have heard your concerns and will try to address them as best as I can after Friday.
Thank you, Chloe, and I think you've done an adequate job in making sure we're respecting our policies in terms of what you've said at council so far. I do want to give, sorry, Peter, I know you've had a direct response. I do want to give Sindhu a chance here in case she is going to point something out for us that could be important. Please go ahead, Sindhu.
Great. Yeah, I was just addressing Emilio's question about the permit. From my understanding, the group was told that if they wanted to book the space and have the sit-in, they could. So just giving an update there. And once again, yes, also agree, Chloe, I think you're doing a great job with following policy here. So that's it from me.
Thank you, Sindhu. Peter, you're next on the direct responses. Please make sure it is a clarifying question or comment.
It was a comment, or it was a response kind of clarifying or adding on to Chloe for the apology aspect of it. I think the most important is regarding also protest as well, but the big part of it is also in the letter is that it goes, what happened also went against our policies, against most of our policies in the different things. Is I think the biggest issue obviously was the calling of security or an authority figure such as police or stuff when there is no safety threat or harm. That is one of the biggest things, especially when it is racialized students. And I think some of us do have the history of this kind of thing. I think that was a very problematic part that is accounted in the apology to SFU 350.
Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion on this? I am not seeing any. All right, that moves us on to reports from executive committee. I will share the PowerPoint. Oh my God. Give me a moment, please. What in the world is going on here? Apologies, everyone. Give me a moment. There we go. All right, I'm going to share my screen. All right, can everyone see this?
Yep.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right. Execs, I'll be holding you to 1 minute. Let me get my timer up. Beginning with myself, just to talk about, I have monthly check-ins with a member of SFU Student Services Team, Tracy Mason-Innes. I think any execs who's interacted with her can vouch. She is amazing. She really works for the students. She's amazing, and I'm glad I get to have these monthly check-ins where we basically get to, I typed check wrong. My brain was tired last night. Apologies. Oh, I'm running out of time too. Okay, me, myself, and Ishana have also had discussions with the Psych Student Union in terms of advocacy for them getting more professors. I've volunteered at Munchie Mondays. Myself, Peter, Sungyun, and others have worked on council orientation planning, WE consulting benefits. We did some renewals for our unionized staff. I've also been training the incoming president and VP Finance. I've chaired JHSC alongside Sindhu, had some legal discussions, went to governance committee, discussions with the union, and a lot of admin work. All right, that goes by fast. Peter, you're next.
Right. So I worked with the VP Equity and VPA on bringing menstrual products to the sub. I believe the past at the ESC. I met with the SFU Equity Director regarding menstrual products in the campus washrooms with the VP Equity and VPA. Hopefully make progress on that, so we wouldn't be having to. It should be a service provided by SFU itself, the institution. As just completing the governance motions as well. I can confirm Abby was there at the committees. We're working on staff requests on policy changes. That's the other thing we're finishing up on. Governance, obviously, that has to go through. We worked on the policy of I worked on the policy of the formation of student healthcare committee, worked past the governance side. It was a kind of a quick schedule, and I've been meeting with SBSBO regarding the Canvas courses and development of a kind of a module quiz and stuff like that. There has been some concerns raised about that. And then I also was at the orientation planning alongside Abby, Sungyun, and I believe it was Viva was the one you forgot.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for confirming I'm not lying too. That's always good. Roscoe, you can start whenever you're ready. You have 1 minute.
Quick. So met with SV Sports and the society staff in regards to gaming lounge opening. It passed two council sessions ago. Met with student care to discuss planned budgets and utilization, as well as effects on the plan due to recent developments at the provincial level. So the province is expanding what's covered by MSP. I'll probably have updates to the exec, or I'll pass it on to whoever's after me. Met with Quest Food Exchange leadership actually yesterday. We are very close to being able to issue Quest Food Exchange referrals. Just need to finish some internal things, but you know, very soon we're going to be able to roll this out to our membership. Interact e-transfer project. So that's been taking quite some time. Been talking to the financial partners we work with and vendors. Accounting software is being updated to accommodate the rollout. Space oversight committee meetings, met with various companies. You know, a lot of them reached out to offer discounts and services. I got to make sure they're legit. I've been preparing to hand over my portfolio since I leave on the 17th or 18th.
All right, Roscoe, sorry, I do have to cut you off. I gave you a little extra time too. All right, next, Chloe, whenever you're ready.
Hi, so I've been in correspondence with a bunch of different organizations and also professors and deans about bringing ASL to SFU in cooperation with DNA. And because of this, I've also been researching and drafting a motion regarding compensation for marginalized folks who do unpaid consultation for the SFSS as an equity measure. I've also been in contact with students from Emily Carr University supporting two initiatives, their right to protest peacefully without fear of retaliation, and also equity and inclusion in art gallery events. I've also been researching vendors, speakers, and activities for an upcoming Earth Day event that I'm working on with the VP Equity and Sustainability. And I spoke to groups within the sub about a student resource guide that would be like a pamphlet / website feature to explain like what resources that you can access as a student. I also did Munchy Mondays, and I'm working on getting SF Freezer and regular donations. If I could talk to upcoming execs about that, I would love to, and I think that's about it.
Right on time. All right. Next we have Ishana Baran, who has asked me to read out loud her slides, so I'll do that. As you can tell from the photo, Ishana did attend the Holy event, and I want to give a major shout out to V and the events team for working with this. V in particular really put his heart into this event, so big shout out to him. It would not have happened without him. Also want to shout out Sindhu and Dipti, who are supports as well. In terms of external and community affairs, they had the meeting. I attended as quorum because they didn't have people, so yeah. Also, Ishana also attended SAS movie night and attended the international. Oh, I forgot to attend the International Women's Day breakfast. There was waffles. Oh, damn it. Okay. Next is Sunken. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I had a meeting with SFP Equity Director for the menstrual product program with, like, as Peter mentioned, and we passed the motion in Equity and Sustainability Committee for the $500 for the program. And I attended Holy and had a meeting with SFP Traffic Safety Manager for the event on March 26, which is Run for Student Mental Health, and attended International Women's Day breakfast events and also council orientation planning. And lastly, I'm planning events with Ukrainian Student Society for March 27th. Yes.
Apologies, Sunken. I did not mean to skip that.
No, that's it.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna stop sharing. My phone decided to like randomly pull up my photos for some reason. But yeah, that's the exec reports. Next up is CCBC reports. In terms of CCBC, we have had a meeting, and I can say we're making good progress with CCBC business. That brings us to Q&A. So if anyone has any questions or anything, or if there's any students here that want to ask questions, I don't see any, so I'm going to give like 30 seconds. If I don't see any questions in the chat, we'll just move to adjournment. Peter, go ahead.
Have you gotten better at Gen 9 OU, or are you just kind of still playing like trash?
To comment on this, the function of terrestrialization within Pokemon is a unique feature of this generation that I have quite struggled with. Mega evolutions were something I used quite well, and Z-moves were something I struggled with a little bit more. And I think when it comes to singular typings in terms of these mechanics that Pokemon likes to introduce, I tend to struggle with them, and I have struggled mightily with terrestrialization. So to answer your question, Peter, I've gotten slightly better, but I'm not very good. I should list, and barring some sort of special council meeting, this will be Peter and Roscoe's last council meetings as executives. So I do want to take a moment to thank them for their contributions to the executive committee. You two came in at a time that was very tumultuous, to say the least. And I want to thank you for your service to the SFSS. Yeah. All right. Oh, also, yeah, I guess I'm not going to be acting president as of next meeting. Thanks to our motion we passed earlier, I am still going to be chair of council for the remainder of the year, just to keep the load easy for Liam and co. So I'll still be chairing these meetings. Sorry, guys. You'll still have my horrible Robert's rules. But I will say that serving as acting president was actually, it wasn't part of the plan, but it was a massive honor for me. And I really appreciate the support of council, especially on that first day when I was frazzled and we had the Zoom bombing. A lot of you reached out to me, a lot of you were supporting me, and honestly, like, it meant everything to me. Even throughout the semester, I've had the pleasure of meeting some of you in person, on Zoom, in classes, and honestly, just meeting you guys and you guys telling me, hey, you're doing good, you're doing great, hey, great job, like, it means so much to me, honestly. So thank you so much to everyone who's reached out to me throughout this time, and you guys, for all the struggle and the pain and anxiety that came with this position. You guys really made it worth giving the effort, so thank you. All right, I don't see any other lists in the Q&A, so I think we can move to adjournment. So motion reads, be it resolved to adjourn this meeting at 7:38 p.m. Get a mover.
Finance.
Finance moves. Can we get a seconder?
Computer science.
Meeting science seconds. Is there any discussion on leaving? Guessing not. So I'm going to seek unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent, please use the raise hand function on Zoom, and I'll call on you for your vote. I'm going to vote against, as this is my last meeting as acting president, and it's a little sad, so I'm going to vote against. All right. Given that it still passes, thank you, everyone. The next regularly scheduled council meeting will be the 22nd. We also do have a dev session next week, so we'll see you all there. Take care, everyone.